Hey, what's up everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Welcome to the July fishing report. We're here, it's mid-July, and got a lot going on in the Arizona fishing world, so appreciate you guys tuning in. As always, this video is brought to you by Hatch Toyota in Show, Arizona. If you guys are in the market for a vehicle, please give them a shot. I've got my last several Tundras from them. It's a great experience. They're a great dealership. They've got tons of inventory. They're going to beat anyone's price down here in the valley, and it's not your typical car dealership experience. So go see those guys if you are looking for a vehicle. This is also brought to you by Signature Gates and Welding. This is Kevin Finley's company. He's a local Arizona fisherman and another great company. Proud to be working with them. They specialize in automatic gates. So like basically community gates. If you work for an HOA, work with an HOA, if you're looking for someone to give your business to that's in the fishing world, is going to do a good job, check out Signature Gates and Welding. So fishing report, let's get into this thing. There's a lot going on. You know, the monsoons are starting to hit. Fishing's still pretty good though overall. Fishing has been good. Overall, I would say it's not been quite as consistent as June, but we're still catching fish. All the lakes are fishing good. You know, water levels they're slowly starting to trickle down up at Roosevelt, which is not a bad thing, really. I'd love to see another 10 or 20 feet fall out of there to make it a little bit easier for everyone to fish. But, you know, other than the fact that it's been super, super hot on us, that's good for the fish. The fish love that. It's amazing, but when it's 110, 115 degrees, that's when the fish seem to bite best here in Arizona. So we're going to start at the top of the chain, work the way down. We'll talk about Pleasant. We'll talk about Bartlett. Oh, last thing real quick too. We got to give our baits from last month's fishing report away. The winner is going to be Captain KY. So Captain KY, thanks for commenting on the last report. You've been drawn. Send me an email, azangler@gmail.com. That's azangler@gmail.com. I'll send you those baits. Now, the previous two winners to that, I still haven't heard from you guys. So email me, please, azangler@gmail.com. If you haven't emailed me, or if you've tried that and for some reason I haven't gotten it, feel free to send me a message on Facebook or Instagram. I hope that you guys aren't out there trying to get a hold of me, but I haven't gotten your email, so I haven't been able to send the baits to you guys. And with that being said, now we're backlogged 3. I'm going to go ahead, and this month I'm not going to give away the baits. Sorry about that, guys, but please drop a comment below anyways. Keep me posted on what's going on. When I get caught up with this, I'll send some more baits, but I just don't want to I don't want to owe 10 different people bait packs. So once I can get this cleaned up and caught up, we'll start giving away the baits we talk about again. But anyways, starting at Roosevelt, I've been rambling. 87% full, it's about 11 feet down. So the water's coming out, which it's a good thing, right? There's going to be current in the lake. I talked about current in a recent video. They're releasing. It's also there's also going to be some current upriver to Apache, which is a good thing as well. But it's coming down a little bit. It's pulling those fish out to the main lake points, the main lake humps. The fishing is going to be spotty at Roosevelt this time of year as far as time of day. You can go up there and struggle right now if things aren't right. What makes things right? You never know sometimes. Like it's really, it's a little bit of a sketchy time of year. You can go up there and absolutely blast them when the fish are in position and eating. But what happens a lot when you start getting these monsoons and you get later into the summer up there is the fish bite in shorter windows. So you could get out there and the fish could be up off the bottom and really hard to catch. When they're up high, you know, you can catch them, you know, hovering a minnow over their head, throwing a spoon, stuff like that. But it really helps to have live scope, and it really helps to be dialed in with your graphs. If they're not on the bottom, they're hard to catch. Now, if you get out there and things are right, fish are on the bottom, you can catch them dragging a football jig, throwing a big worm, a crankbait, all your typical ledge stuff. That's the scenario you want. But I saw this last summer a little bit. We went up there a couple mornings thinking we were going to whack them, and then we didn't. And, you know, talked to a buddy that fished that evening or something, and they caught them good, and the fish just weren't in position at the times that we were on those spots. So be on the lookout for that. You know, I definitely think it's still worth going up there. Just temper your expectations, and hey, if you're not getting bit on those spots right away, they might be up suspended. There are still a few fish up shallow. You can catch them throwing topwaters. Not quite as good as you did in like April and May, but you can, especially early in the morning, you can do a little bit of that. Not super on fire, but you know, it's just still worth the drive up there. But it's not the easiest up there right now. I'll just say that it's not the easiest. As you slide down to Apache, fishing's been good. I'm actually headed up there in a couple of days. Talking to buddies that have been out there. There was recently a club tournament up there. It took 25 pounds to win. Lots of good bags. And then even guys that weren't fishing that tournament, some guys that went up to fun fish recently had a couple of really good days. So if I was going to Apache, I'd try topwater early, and then I would just get on the bottom, something like a crankbait or a worm. It could be a drop shot or a Texas rig, a shaky head, a free rig, however you like to fish the bottom. I'd look for shade. I wouldn't go super, super deep, talk about that thermocline a little bit in one of my most recent videos. You got to be fishing above that thermocline. 20 feet or less really is probably the depth I would be focusing on at Apache and most of these lakes in general. Definitely worth fishing it. Canyon's been hit or miss. Some big fish coming out, but again, it's not on fire. I was up there recently and, we caught a few fish, but it wasn't lights out. It's always worth a shot if you're after a big fish, but don't expect to go up there and catch 30. That's probably not going to happen. There's a little bit of grass, but overall the grass isn't super, super thick this year. Just your typical fishing bluffs, fishing boulders, fishing walls this time of year is going to be your best bet. And it could be anywhere on the lake. Focus on shade, try to find areas that have some bait around, and that's going to give you the best chance. Also, always a chance to catch some fish up in those shallow tules at Canyon as well. Saguaro has been solid all summer. Lake gets pounded, and but the fishing still continues to produce. So I've been doing a little bit of guiding out there, and fishing's been good. Catching them on a drop shot, of course, that's always the standard this time of year. A really good bait has been this 4-inch power worm, but catching them on some straight tails as well. The fishing has just been good overall. Fish haven't been super deep, but it's been probably one of the better lakes in the area. If you guys are interested in a guide trip at Saguaro or any of these other lakes, I've got some dates available in August and September, and then again in the fall. So I've got one more big tournament back east and a couple out west, but I've got some dates open. So if you're looking to, learn a specific lake, learn a technique, learn your electronics, send me a message, drop a comment below, or you can email me again, azangler@gmail.com, all lowercase, and I can get you set up. We go fishing and hopefully you learn a thing or two. But Saguaro's been good. It's always, if you don't mind the boats, go to Saguaro. If you are sick of being around a bunch of boats and want to have some peace and quiet, go to Canyon. You might catch a couple less, but you're not going to be around a bunch of boats, and you have a chance to catch a big fish still. That's the Salt River chain. Over at Bartlett, the water 65%. It's about 25 feet from full pool. I'd say it's just been an okay summer at Bartlett. Out of all the lakes, it hasn't been on fire. Quality's been decent, but it's just been okay. But again, okay at Bartlett, still decent fishing. I would get on those main lake points, rock piles. You could throw jigs, drop shots, shaky head. If you're looking to just catch fish on the bottom, you can go up shallow and throw a crankbait, a topwater like a buzz bait or a walking bait. And then if you do have live scope, there's a lot of fish that get out and chase bait this time of year, and you can play that game too with the forward facing, using the minnow, using a small swim bait or an underspin, and chase after those fish too. So there's all kinds of stuff going on out there. I personally haven't been out there this month, but just talking to buddies that have been out there, looking at tournament results, doesn't sound like it's absolutely on fire, but it's never a bad bet to go over there. There was some fires last month. That stuff's all cleared up right now, and the lake's, getting back to normal. So worth a shot. And then Pleasant has quietly been really good for both largemouth and striper. If you're after striper, a big spoon, this right here is a 5-inch, but guys are throwing even 6, 7, 8-inch Magnum spoons to catch the giant striper. This is another sneaky bait that'll catch fish at any of the lakes right now. This is just a 5-inch. I believe this is a Nichols, but throw this thing out, let it sink, and rip it through that depth that you think the fish are at. And like I said, if you can get around those big stripers at Pleasant, they'll crush that thing. If you want to get largemouth at Pleasant, pick up a drop shot, a jig, or a free rig, and get on the main lake stuff, points, humps, stuff like that. And, those fish are really keyed in on crawfish. Any fish you catch at Pleasant this time of year, bass is going to have crawfish tentacles coming out of his throat. So look for the type of rock that's going to hold crawfish, which is usually smaller rock, right? Like the crawfish don't like to get in big chunk rock. They like smaller rock, the size of your hand or smaller. Get around that stuff, drag. drag around and you'll catch largemouth for sure. Now I've seen the largemouth go a little bit deeper on that lake this time of year than some of the other lakes, so don't be afraid to go a little bit deeper if you're on Pleasant for whatever reason. They'll go a little bit deeper out there, but you know, you could throw a jig. You could, like I said, the free rig's really popular out there. A lot of guys are doing that, and fishing's good. Fishing's really good. I'm going to be out a bunch over the next week and a half. That I'm headed out to the St. Lawrence River. So again, I'll get back to you guys with more info coming up. But please, even though I'm not giving baits away this month, drop a comment below. Appreciate you guys viewing and watching this. Let me know what's been going on with your fishing. And then the previous this month's winner, Captain KY, the baits from last week. Send me an email. I'm going to send you the baits from last month. And then if you haven't watched the 2 previous fishing reports, go watch those because I've got winners announced in those for those previous month's baits. And like I said, we'll get caught up. We'll start giving baits away again. But I'm not the world's most organized person, and I don't want to get out of control with baits that I owe people. So appreciate you guys tuning in again, and we will be back at you guys in a video really soon. Thank you.